All right, let's get ready to go deep underground today.
Into the caves.
Yeah, you sent me some
That's right.
fascinating research.
Yes.
Especially from this academic book on outdoor recreation.
Yeah.
And I'm really curious to explore all the impacts of caving on these really fragile environments.
Mm-hmm.
So our mission is to uncover the hidden consequences of this adventure sport and figure out just how we can explore these underground wonders.
Responsibly?
Yeah, responsibly.
That's the key.
Definitely.
Yeah.
So let's just start with like the basics.
Okay.
What is it about caves that makes people want to go into them?
Well,
It can't just be the darkness and the tight spaces.
it's the mystery.
Oh,
I
yeah.
think the allure of the unknown.
Mhm.
The sense of adventure that comes with venturing into a place where few have gone before.
Yeah,
And they also offer a glimpse into the deep past,
right.
geological history, delicate ecosystems that have evolved over millennia.
Yeah, I've always been fascinated by all the cave formations. The stalactites and stalagmites.
Absolutely.
Slow stones.
Yeah,
Columns. It's like walking into a
There's a-
natural sculpture gallery.
it is.
Yeah.
And each type of cave, from limestone to dolomite to gypsum,
Oh, yeah.
even lava tubes in glacier caves, has its own unique formation
Right.
shaped by the forces of water,
Yeah.
wind, and time.
So who are the people that are going into these caves?
Well, you have the kind of the everyday recreational cavers, the
Yeah.
weekend warriors,
Yeah.
drawn to the challenge and the beauty of these subterranean landscapes.
Right.
And then you have outdoor centers and caving clubs
Right.
acting as gateways for newcomers into this world.
Yeah.
And then you have the real hardcore scientists, the speleologists, who
Yeah.
dedicate their lives to unraveling the mysteries of caves.
Oh, well.
From geology to biology to hydrology and even archaeology.
That's incredible.
Yeah, it's quite a diverse group.
That is a really diverse group. I'm really surprised to hear about how small the caving community is globally. Yeah.
It's really small.
It is, according to the association Homme de Caverne,
Okay.
there are only about 40,300 cavers in all of Europe.
Wow, that's it.
That's it.
For the whole continent.
Yeah. And even here in the U.S., the National Speleological Society
Right.
has fewer than 10,000 members.
So fewer than 10,000 people are exploring
Yeah.
thousands of miles of caves in the U.S.
Yeah, it really does
Right,
highlight
big responsibility.
the potential impact even a small group can have.
Yeah,
And here's the thing.
okay.
Most of the damage that's done isn't intentional.
Right.
For the most part, cavers respect these environments.
Yeah.
But even seemingly minor actions
Yeah.
can add up over time and lead to, significant
Right.
and often irreversible damage.
So, what kind of damage are we talking about?
Well, think about it. Every footstep
Oh?
can erode delicate sediment floors,
Hmm.
touching formations.
Okay.
Even with clean hands, can transfer oils and dirt that disrupts their growth.
Wow.
Our body heat.
And even the lights that we bring in can alter the cave's microclimate,
Okay.
impacting that delicate balance of temperature and humidity.
So our body heat can be a problem
It can be.
in a cave.
Yeah.
I would have never thought of that.
Yeah, and then there's pollution.
Okay.
We might not think of it as litter, but skin cells,
Right.
hair lint from clothing, all of that can introduce foreign bacteria and disrupt the cave's ecosystem.
So it's not just what we take in, but what we leave behind,
Yeah.
intentionally or not.
Absolutely.
So how about the creatures that actually live in these caves?
Well,
How do they survive in these environments?
caves are home to some of the most unique and adapted creatures on Earth.
Okay.
Many cave dwellers have evolved to thrive in perpetual darkness,
Right.
often lacking pigmentation and sight.
Wow.
They've developed heightened senses of touch and smell
Okay.
to navigate and find food.
So you're
It's
completely
a whole other evolutionary path
totally different.
playing out in these hidden worlds. And many of these creatures are endemic,
Okay.
meaning they're found nowhere else on Earth.
Wow.
Take, for example, the blind albino crabs found in lava tubes.
Oh, wow.
Or the microscopic cave snails discovered in Croatia.
Huh.
And then there's the devil's hole pupfish,
Okay.
critically endangered species found only in one small pool in a Nevada cavern.
Life finds a way.
It does.
So how connected are these cave ecosystems to the outside world?
More than you might think.
Yeah.
Many cave creatures rely on nutrients brought in from the surface world,
Right.
carried by water or dropped by animals that venture into caves.
So we mess up stuff above ground.
Yeah.
We can mess up stuff below ground.
Absolutely. Pollution and habitat destruction on the surface can have a profound impact on these fragile underground ecosystems, all interconnected.
Yeah, so are there any specific cave inhabitants that are particularly vulnerable
Oh, yeah.
to human disturbance?
Bats.
Yeah, they play a crucial role in many cave ecosystems,
Okay.
acting as pollinators.
And they help control insect populations. Their guano or droppings are a vital source of nutrients for a whole host of cave organisms.
So they're kind of the unsung heroes of the cave world.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Keeping things in balance.
Okay. But unfortunately, I've heard that they're very sensitive
Yeah.
to human disturbance.
Incredibly.
Yeah.
Disrupting their hibernation or nursing can lead to energy depletion,
Wow.
reproductive failure, and even death.
And then there's also white nose syndrome that
Yeah.
I've heard of.
It's a fungal disease that has decimated North American bat populations
Wow.
since it was first detected in 2006.
Really?
Yeah. The fungus can cling to clothing and equipment,
Oh.
and cavers moving between caves can unintentionally spread the spores.
So even if we think we're being careful,
It can happen.
we could still be spreading this.
It's a sobering thought.
Yeah.
And that's why decontamination is so crucial.
Mm.
The U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service recommends a rigorous decontamination protocol, washing everything from our bodies and clothing to our equipment and vehicles.
Wow.
Might seem extreme, but it's a small price to pay to protect these incredible creatures.
Oh, it sounds like we've uncovered some pretty serious consequences
Yeah.
of humans interacting with caves.
Yeah.
So is there any hope for protecting these environments?
Oh, there is. And it lies in a multifaceted approach to conservation.
Okay.
You know, we can't simply shut off access to all caves.
Right.
You know, that would deprive future generations from experiencing these wonders
Yeah.
and hinder scientific discovery.
Right.
Instead, it's about finding a balance between exploration,
Mm-hmm.
education, and protection.
How do we strike that balance?
Well, one key strategy is access control.
Okay.
And this can involve things like access agreements and permit systems,
Okay.
or even gating sensitive caves.
Oh, yeah. What about gating?
Gating is a really effective way
Yeah.
to limit access to particularly sensitive areas.
Okay.
You know, and there are different types of gates. Some are solid barriers,
Right.
designed to completely restrict access,
Okay.
while others, like what they call bat-friendly gates,
Right.
allow bats to come and go freely while keeping humans out.
So we're still protecting
Exactly.
the bats even when we're trying to keep people out.
Right. And it's important to note that in some cases,
Okay.
gating or restricting access might be the only option to protect these very fragile environments.
Right.
You know, the concept of sacrificial caves has been proposed.
Sacrificial caves.
Yeah.
I've heard that term.
Yeah. So the idea is to designate certain caves.
Right.
Often those that are more robust or already show signs of wear and tear as acceptable for novice cavers
Okay.
and larger groups.
So it's like a compromise.
Yeah, it helps concentrate the impact
Got
on areas that are less vulnerable.
So we're not putting as much pressure
Exactly.
on the environments that need the most protection.
Preserving those more pristine and delicate systems.
Yeah, okay. That makes a lot of sense.
You know, and this ties into the really critical role of education,
Mm.
because by teaching cavers about the potential impact
Right.
and how to minimize it,
Yeah.
we can empower them to become stewards of these environments.
So it's not just don't touch the pretty rocks.
No, it's about fostering a
Gotcha.
deep understanding of the interconnectedness of cave ecosystems.
Mm.
You know, organizations like the National Speleological Society in the U.S.,
Right.
the British Caving Association,
Okay.
the Australian Speleological Federation,
Yeah.
they've all developed cave conservation codes,
All right.
minimal impact caving techniques.
And tell me about that.
So these emphasize things like staying on marked paths,
Okay.
avoiding contact with formations,
Right.
properly disposing of waste,
Right.
you know, even things like hair and lint.
Really? Even hair and lint?
Oh yeah, those tiny fibers.
Okay.
They can accumulate and disrupt the natural processes
Wow.
in the cave environment.
So it's a lot of little things
Absolutely.
that can have a big impact.
Right.
So how do we make sure people are following these codes?
Well, many organizations
Yeah.
offer cave leader and instructor certification schemes.
Okay.
This ensures that those guiding others
Right.
through these environments are well versed in these responsible caving practices.
Okay.
And in some places, like the UK, access to certain caves is granted through agreements with landowners.
Okay.
For instance, the Council for Northern Caving Clubs manages one such agreement. And these agreements often include very specific restrictions. For example, in some caves, only 6 people are allowed in at a time.
Oh, wow.
And they can only visit between August 1st and January 31st.
So they're really controlling how many people.
It's about minimizing the impact in these sensitive environments.
Yeah. And in addition to gating and these restrictions, education is also important.
Absolutely.
So we're making sure that people who are going into these caves actually understand.
Understand the fragility of the environment. Show caves, for instance, have a unique opportunity to educate visitors about the importance of cave conservation.
So instead of just looking at formations,
Exactly.
we're learning about how delicate they are.
Understanding the entire ecosystem.
Okay.
And beyond just education, there are active conservation efforts taking place. Cave adoption schemes are a great example.
Cave adoption schemes?
Yeah.
What is that?
So caving clubs often adopt a particular cave system.
Okay.
And they take responsibility for its upkeep and monitoring.
So it's like a neighborhood cleanup?
Yeah, you could say that.
But for a cave?
Right.
Okay.
You know, this might involve regular cleanups, removing litter, or even undertaking small-scale formation repair work.
Wait, you can repair cave formations?
You can.
I thought once they were broken, they were broken.
It's painstaking work. Requires specialized knowledge and techniques. But skilled conservationists have successfully repaired broken formations.
How do they do that?
They use resins and pins to kind of piece those fragments back together.
It's amazing.
Restoring a sense of wholeness to these structures.
It's like microsurgery.
You could say that.
But for a cave.
Yeah.
So what about those artificial bat caves?
Oh, yeah.
You mentioned earlier.
So remember how we talked about white nose syndrome? Devastating bat populations? Well, researchers and conservationists are exploring ways to provide alternative roosting sites for bats.
Okay.
Particularly those that are less susceptible to the fungus.
Are they effective?
Well, they show promise. You know, they can provide temporary refuges and help bats repopulate. But ultimately, we need to address the root causes of white nose syndrome and habitat loss.
So it's not a perfect solution?
No, it's not.
It's something.
It's a step in the right direction.
Okay.
And it highlights the need for a multifaceted approach to conservation.
So there's no easy answer. It's a combination of lots of different things.
It requires a holistic approach, considering the interconnectedness of ecosystems, the impact of human activities, and the need for long-term solutions.
So thinking big.
Yes.
And acting locally.
That's it.
Right.
So have you ever heard of caving in mines?
I've always wanted to explore an abandoned mine.
Yeah.
It's like going back in time.
It is. You know, mines offer a similar environment to caves. Dark subterranean spaces. Ripe for exploration. And many abandoned mines are relatively safe and well mapped, making them ideal for guided tours and caving experiences.
So the way to get that caving experience without
putting that pressure on the delicate cave systems. And then there are the artificial caves.
Yeah, I've heard about those. What are those like?
So there's a massive one in Belfast that boasts the world's largest artificial cavern and tallest waterfall.
That's amazing.
An incredible feat of engineering.
Wow.
Designed to mimic the features and challenges of a real cave.
Yeah, and there's that one in Colorado Springs.
Oh, yeah, City Rock.
Yeah, City Rock.
The cave at City Rock.
And it uses sensors.
It does.
To track your movements.
Yes.
To teach you about minimal impact.
Exactly. It's like a video game brought to life.
It is.
You know, while they may not offer that same sense of discovery as exploring a real cave, they do provide a valuable educational opportunity. You know, they allow people to learn about caving, its potential impact and responsible practices in a controlled environment.
It's about building that.
It's about fostering a deeper understanding and appreciation for these environments. Even if it's through a simulated experience. And this brings us to a fascinating example from Liverpool University. They've built an artificial cave specifically to teach archaeology students about cave art.
That's amazing.
It's a unique approach to hands-on learning.
Okay.
Students can experiment with the same techniques and materials
Yeah.
used by our ancestors.
Wow.
Gaining insights that would be impossible to get from simply observing replicas or visiting show caves.
So it's a really unique way
It is
to learn.
to connect with the past and understand the challenges of creating those ancient masterpieces.
And it highlights how caves,
Yes.
whether real or artificial,
Absolutely.
can be powerful tools.
For education and conservation.
So we started by exploring the allure of caves
That's right.
and the potential for damage.
Yeah.
And now we're looking at how we can use our ingenuity
Right.
to protect those wonders.
It's a journey of discovery,
Yeah.
both underground and within ourselves.
Right.
We must remember that caves are more than just holes in the ground.
Right.
They are windows into our planet's history,
Yeah.
intricate ecosystems, teeming with life,
Yeah.
sources of wonder and inspiration.
So it comes down to respect,
It does.
responsibility,
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
appreciating these environments.
For what they are.
Yeah. Okay, so we've talked about a lot of stuff.
We have.
We talked about why people want to go into caves.
Yeah.
We talked about how they could be damaging those caves.
Right.
And now we've talked about all the different ways
Yeah.
we can help to protect these environments.
Mm-hmm.
But what does that mean for someone like me or anyone listening
Right.
who might want to explore a cave?
Well, it means approaching caving
Okay.
with a sense of respect and responsibility.
Okay.
Understanding that even our smallest actions
Yeah.
can have lasting consequences.
So it's not just knowing how to
Yeah.
put on the gear and,
It's about the right mindset.
yeah, having the right mindset.
You got it.
Okay.
It's about adopting those minimal impact caving techniques.
Mm-hmm.
Moving slowly and carefully,
Yeah.
staying on marked paths, avoiding contact with formations,
Right.
packing out everything we bring in.
Yeah.
Even those seemingly insignificant things like hair and lint
Right. Even the hair and lint.
can have an impact.
Wow.
So really recognize that we're visitors
Yeah.
in these ancient and fragile ecosystems.
So with all these different types of caves,
Yeah.
all these different conservation challenges, where do we even start?
We'll start by learning about the caves in your area.
Okay.
What are the specific conservation challenges that they face? Are there any access restrictions or guidelines?
Mm-hmm.
Many caving organizations have excellent resources on their websites,
Right.
including conservation codes, minimal impact guidelines.
So do your research.
Absolutely, before you set foot in a cave.
Right.
And remember, caves are more than just holes in the ground.
Yeah, there's so much more than that.
They are windows into our planet's history,
Right.
intricate ecosystems teeming with life,
Yeah.
sources of wonder and inspiration.
And it's our responsibility to protect them.
That's right.
Yeah.
This raises an important question for you to ponder.
Okay.
Are there any caves in your area? What are the conservation challenges that they face?
Right.
And how can you be a part of the solution?
That's a good question for everyone to think about.
It is.
Yeah.
Maybe this will inspire some listeners to get involved with local caving clubs or conservation efforts.
Yeah. So caves hold secrets whispered through millennia.
They do.
Geological wonders, delicate ecosystems,
Right.
and glimpses into our human past.
It's up to us
It is.
to ensure that those whispers can be heard.
By generations to come.
For generations to come.
Yeah. So cave softly, everyone.
Cave softly.
Explore responsibly.
Explore responsibly.
And let's keep these underground wonders wondrous.
Let's do it.
Thanks for joining us for this deep dive
Thanks for having me.
into the world of caves.
Yeah.
Until next time, keep exploring.